Hey there, hi there, everybody. It's Nicole from Plants That Blossom, and I'm here with the pigeon letters to teach you how to draw fun retro doodles in 3 different ways. So, the first one that I'm going to do is going to be a television. But first, let's talk about the pens I'm using. These monoline pens are amazing, and I'm going to go with 03, which is pretty much the standard size of a fine liner or monoline pen. So here, for step number 1, we're going to go through the steps on how to draw a television. Televisions are some of my favorite things to draw because it leaves a lot of empty space. I'm a planner, so I like to put little notes inside. I like to make lists. I like to have it stand for my day. Anything that could be functional and creative, I just love that marriage. So you're going to want to start with making a rounded edge rectangle. So on the edges, make sure they're not perfectly straight, but if they are, that's okay. Perfection is not a thing. So now you're going to want to create a rectangle around that shape, but leave some space on either side. For instance, I went with the right side. It doesn't have to be the right. Just do whatever feels natural to you. The reason for this is because you're making something that is functional. It's a television, right? So in order to turn the TV on, you need dials and you need to be able to change the channels. So I like to kind of add some little knobbies in there along with this fun frame for the screen. Now a lot of old TVs kind of have a frame for the glass, and it's easy to connect it if you have 4 lines coming from the corners. So there you have your frame, and now you can create the knobs to your television. I like to do 2 big ones, maybe one for volume, one for the channels, and then little ones to turn it on and off. If you want to add some more details, you can put 2 lines going down, just so it looks like something you can actually turn. Another thing TVs used to have are antennas. That's how they worked. That's how they got the signal so you could watch TV. So this is an example of an antenna, but feel free to experiment. Another fun thing is to add some little legs to the television, just so it's a little extra cute. So number 2, let's try a radio, which is another thing that I love to draw because there's so many possibilities. If you haven't noticed, I do have an affinity for not only retro things, but just for things that serve an entertainment purpose. I like to draw what I like. So for a radio, you do the same thing. You create a rounded edge rectangle, but on one end, you make it slightly taller. This just kind of gives it an oblong shape, which is a lot of fun and adds a lot of interest and kind of puts it in a specific time period, maybe the 50s. So you're going to want to create that again. Now we're adding some lines that look really aerodynamic and really cool 50s airport, but really they were speakers. So now create the shape again, and just like I said, on one end make it a little taller than the other. Add your speaker lines, and the next step is to add the dial. So a lot of old radios had a manual dial that some also served as a clock. So you could turn it and tune into your favorite radio station. And it's crazy how things have transpired and how technology has taken off from now, but it's nice to think about a simpler time. So just add the dial in, and just like the TV, we have to turn this guy on, right? So let's add some knobs right there. And another thing we can do is the antenna. Here's another example of how I do antennas. I like to make one side taller than the other just to add some interest and give it a little character. So now for number 3, we are going to draw a telephone. Fun story, I had a rotary phone growing up and I loved it. I remember when I was little thinking it was a princess phone. I thought it was very fancy until I became a teenager and realized that the cord only got me so far. So it was a little frustrating, but still a really, really cool piece that my mother had, and I feel fortunate enough to have that memory, and now I make doodles because of it. So now you're going to make some tiny rounded edge rectangles, or ovals if that's easier, and kind of space them apart evenly. And now we're going to connect it to create the headset. So put little curvatures inside where the headset would be and then connect it, almost like you're creating a rainbow. Now on the outside, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to have a half circle, and there's the hand headset. Now we're going to recreate this again. But this time we have to create the actual telephone part of this machine. So I like to call it a belly. I'm pretty sure there is a technical term for this, but I like to have a little fun, so you just create the headset, then you add your phone's belly. Again, no hard lines, just a little bit of curve to add interest and keep it retro and fun. So now we're going to add the top, which kind of serves as a receiver. If this were a real phone, it probably wouldn't hang up, but it gives you the idea. So now we're going to create the rotary dial. So typically you would put your finger on one of the numbers and turn to dial a number. But for this, we're just going to put dots where the numbers are and put the little dial. And after this is my absolute favorite part because it's the biggest pain of my teenage years, the cord, just a little squiggle that you connect in two places. So here are 3 ways that you can doodle in a retro way. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to follow the pigeon letters for more tutorials and have fun.